Good everyone, welcome to this video. Today we have a Forgotten Vehicles episode on the Su-2 TSS-1. Now I know some people are going to say, Joe, the Su-2 is not unloved. This thing is loved by many. I'm not meaning all the variants. When it comes to the Forgotten Vehicles series, this will obviously be including vehicles that, in my personal opinion, because obviously I don't rely on Thunderskill anymore, I personally feel that are unloved and forgotten. This is mainly because I don't see these things anymore, and I think I have a pretty weird reason as to why. Well, it's not really weird, but it's something that players just tend to, they don't tend to realise that this plane is still good regardless. So why do I think this is the case? Well, let's take a look at the X-ray and I can point out why. Unlike a regular Su-2, which has 4 wing-mounted guns, we only have 2. We keep 850 rounds per gun, the bomb load is the same, and there's also one other thing that I think really causes this, and that is the coverage of the turret. If I turn off the X-ray, we have the TSS-1 turret, which is a different turret. It's meant to be more aerodynamic and faster. Now, sure, it does retain good traverse over the horizontal axis, but when it comes to vertical, and, the vertical is pretty good. Mainly, people just don't like this turret for some reason. And, well, the ball turrets are good, but this, in my opinion, is a bit better, personally. It does obviously not protect the crew member as much, but in my personal opinion, this is just better for overall performance and the ability to use it, to be honest. You can obviously disagree with me if you think so, but I prefer this turret. But of course, with the 2 machine guns in the front, we're going to have to be a bit more aware of the fact that we don't have 4 machine guns. But as I said, this thing really doesn't mind that. I mean, sure, you'll have a little less weight of shot, but this thing does just fine. I mean, how hard can it be, really? In terms of bomb load, we will be taking the 4 100 kilo bombs today, because this is not only the good mix of payload, but I mean, they're enough to kill a tank, they're enough to take out some light ground targets if the machine guns run out of ammo. And if we're going to max up tier, and there's a lot of, there's bombers that aren't doing anything, we'll probably have to use these, the Fab 250s. But I don't think that's going to happen, really. And even then, if we take a look at the explosive mass, 6 times 36 is 180. So, even if we wanted to, we won't be taking this, and we definitely will not be taking the 50s. We'll be taking these for any base bombing duty. So, let's go see what this thing can do in an actual match. And like I said, I just don't understand why people don't enjoy this variant as much. I mean, as I said, I don't remember last time I saw a TSS-1. It would have been around a few months ago, because people just either fly the first one, the BB-1, the Su-2 MV5, or they fly the M82, which has the better engine. So, yeah, hopefully we can show what this thing can do. Anywho, I'll see you all in the first match. And around 2 minutes later, we get our first match, which, judging by the map, is probably an up tier, which might be a little bit more tricky, but I'm sure we'll manage. Let's take a quick look at the team. So, I-16 Type 10. Yeah, I think this might be a 2-7 match. Or it could be around 2-3. Depends on... I mean, the DB7 is 2-3. So, yeah, I think we're a 2-3 game. So, in that case, we're going to stick with the 4 100s. Let's get cracking. BB1. Oh, he's in a squad. That doesn't count. Yeah, looks to be 2.3. That's completely fine by me. I don't know what the BB-1's doing. I think he's going back to fly over his buddy or something. And the bombers are already calling their bases, and they can't decide which one's which. That's just the story of DB7 players, I'm afraid. But we're not going to be going straight in. We're going to be climbing a little bit. The Su-2 can function as a fighter, so we're going to pretty much use it as that this game. Obviously, we do get a bomb sight, for those that didn't actually know. But, yeah. At the minute, the bombs are stored internally. But obviously, if we brought the 6 100s, or the 250s, or the 12 50 kilogram bombs, those would be on the wings. But obviously, we're not bringing those. And now I just gotta, hopefully, not run into anything too OTT, so to speak, because this plane can dogfight the majority of aircraft at this BR. But you gotta watch stuff like, mainly Japanese, but obviously the Japanese are on our team. The Italians can sometimes be a bit of a problem, depending on what they bring. The Americans are mainly speed focused. The Germans, they're not too bad. They tend to be 109Es with crap cannons. So I'm not too concerned in that regard. Let's level out here. This should do. Excuse me. But our main focus is obviously going to be helping the team in terms of enemy fighters. But now I can point out what I mean about this turret. So you can see that the gun can depress really far down. I think people underestimate where this turret can shoot, because it can cover pretty much most of the horizontal axis and most of the vertical. Like, I really do think people underestimate this. I think it's mainly down to the guns primarily, obviously in the front with just 2 7.62, but I guess we'll just have to see. So first target is the A-36 Apache, which I don't mind fighting. And the BB-1 just TK'd his buddy? No, he just TK'd a friendly, who isn't his buddy. And now this is where the maneuverability of this aircraft comes into play. I mean, it kind of helps that the A-36 just did that, but, you know, I'm going to gloss over that. Now, his best option here is to actually dive, because I can't keep with him. Critical hit. Now, you can see with just 2 7.62, it's not the most, like, huge damage output. But once you get shots in on target perfectly, it's more than adequate. I'll let the gun have a go. Never mind. Gun is not getting a shot. There we go.
Roger that.
Thank you, Fizzy. People don't expect you to fly these things as fighters, so... tends to be... like, you tend to get a bit more respect than what you do if you play these things as fighters. So... obviously, I don't encourage this if you're stock, because a stock Su-2 is... well, I mean, it's maneuverable, but... its engine power is a bit lacking, so just bear that in mind. Yeah, that Hazer guy just TK'd that Fokker for no reason. I don't know why. But, I mean, we've been running into like, the last few hours I've been running into scumbag players, so I'm not surprised at this point. So most of my team is on the deck, which is annoying because now the enemy force is coming towards me and I don't like that. This thing can do one-on-ones just fine, but not 2v1s, especially when there's a third and a fourth coming into the mix. It doesn't help though that the Yak 7 and co is coming down towards the deck, which is not ideal. I could take the RA-2002, I think, although that thing is rather agile, so I'm not sure about that. The P-400 is currently shooting at us from over 2 miles away. That's optimistic at its finest. I'm going to bring this guy towards the MS-410, see if I can't get the 410 to try and help us out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because as I said, I'm not entirely sure if I can dogfight a RA-2002. Right, let's swing in now. He's come to help us, I'll come to help him. Critical hit. That should be his engine. That's where I aim for, at least. Right, he's maneuvering around onto our tail. We've got to be careful here. Got him. Whoa, 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 okay. Snap rolling does that. I forgot about that. I've completely forgotten the Su-2 does that. Alright, I'm not going to get shots on him with a gunner. There we go, he's gone. Beautiful. Let's head down and deal with the BF-109 next. Yeah, I forgot the Su-2 does that when you snap roll it. It caught me completely off guard there. I'm going to open the bomb bay doors just to slow us down a little bit. because the compression isn't too bad, but the roll rate certainly goes down the drain. Keeping an eye out around me, I'll beat the 109 in a dogfight, so I don't need to worry about that. Hey! Pick on someone your own size. Nice crits. Watching the 100. Where's the 410? I think he's buggered off, that's okay. Hey, you leave my little eye shaker alone. There we go. That's him dealt with.
Thank you very much.
No problem, Fizzy. You've been a nice chap, so I'm going to help you out. Okay, the 410 is engaging the F2A Buffalo, but there's a HE100 over there. I shut the Bombay doors for now because we don't need it. I was just using it as a pseudo air brake. It doesn't do that much, but I'm kind of being optimistic, I guess. I'm watching that 100. I don't trust him too much. Let's open the bays now and get some weight off. Now, these are the last two enemy players, so I'm not particularly worried about them. Boom, boom. There we go. There goes the F2A. That's fine. I don't normally drop a bomb on a AAA gun like that, but I mean, it's a AAA gun. No one likes them. And the HE100 just binned it. Alright. Makes my job a lot easier. Probably going to miss that, that's okay. Yep, missed that by a country mile. But we did technically get the artillery, so it's fine. Oh well. Still, 3 air kills, 5 ground. Well, 6 if you want to include the one that didn't count, because the game had already ended. But, you know, not bad at all. And that's with an Su-2 with just 2 guns. Now think of what you could do with 4, but... yeah. And obviously, it being a Tectra aircraft, it doesn't pay much, but... I really do think people need to give this thing a second chance, in my personal opinion, because whilst it is a very capable aircraft, obviously just having 2 guns can affect the weight of shot, so you've got to be a bit more careful. But, as you saw there, with careful shot placement, I did more than fine. But anyway, I'm going to hand you off for today. Obviously, next up in the episodes of the Forgotten Vehicles will be the I-16 Type 24, which... again, is an I-16 that I don't see people play, and, well, give it that horsepower, I'm surprised they don't. Well, they do ignore it, but, hey, I'll show you what it can do, that's for sure, and hopefully I don't do exactly what I did in the Type 18, where I nearly snap-rolled the damn thing into a freaking spin, but, you know, that's just because I like snap-roll a lot. Snap-rolling is good for defensive maneuvers, but when you're in planes that you completely forget they don't like, doing that, it can catch you a little bit off guard, like you saw with the Su-2. Anywho, I'm going to leave you all to it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video on the Su-2 TSS-1, and I'll see you all on the next one.